How's it going, Jets fans? My name is Alex with my co-host here, Ryan Moran, and it's a damn good day to talk about Elijah Moore and the Jets wide receiver core. Talking with some friends last night, all Jets fans were like, I think you're a closeted Jets fan. I think I might be too, because I love this team so much based on the draft picks and how they're executing this rebuild. And as a Giants fan, I have no ill will against the Jets, and I'm actually starting to appreciate this team more and more as we dive into them and how they're kind of building everything. I do like it a lot. So I hope you guys will have me continuing forward as a Jets podcaster and content creator along with Ryan here. But we want to talk about Elijah Moore, and he was one of those guys I scooped up on the waiver wire during my fantasy football season last year, and he carried me down the stretch. Him and Amon-Ra St. Brown from Detroit. Every year you got to have a couple of those waiver wire pickups. Elijah Moore and Amon-Ra St. Brown last year were my guys, and Elijah is primed for a big season. I was just saying to Ryan before the podcast started that I think he could be a wide receiver one in fantasy football. I at least put a wide receiver one number. So if he's there in the third, fourth round of your draft, absolutely snag him. I'm sure the biased will definitely have him on most of your drafts anyway. But Elijah Moore had some good things to say today and yesterday about this wide receiver core and how hard it is for teams to stop them. Especially with all their different styles of play. He didn't know that they're all different, which is really cool. So I want to give you guys some quotes there before we do. Ryan, how you do today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Alex. Always great to talk about personally my favorite Jet, Elijah Moore. Since the team drafted him, you look back to the 2021 draft and to come away with Zach Wilson, trade up for Elijah Vera Tucker, and then have Elijah Moore and Michael Carter both fall to the Jets like they did in the top of round 2 and 4. I mean, it was thrilling for me at the time, and it was really a surprise. I mean, the Jets had some other needs, and it's part of the process that goes to show you how Joe Douglas has truly emphasized building around Zach Wilson with that Elijah Moore pick. I mean, the Jets, you look at their receiver depth chart at the time, it really wasn't a pressing need, but it goes to show you do draft for value and you draft the best player available, because now, I mean, Elijah Moore is the Jets' top receiver as far as I'm concerned, and he, to me, has the potential to be the Jets' best player. I truly believe that. You look at his work ethic, his character. You have people rave about you heard Michael LaFleur say it the other day. I mean, he's the last guy he's worried about with these 40 days off, coming back to training camp, not being ready to go. You hear about just the type of person that he is, it's the way his parents raised him, things like that. And from a talent standpoint, that video that went viral when he got drafted with A.J. Brown, and I think A.J. Brown has been his 3 years in the NFL top 5, receiver. And for him to say he thinks Moore is better than him, I think goes to show you that the sky really is the limit for this guy. With more time now with LaFleur, Zach Wilson, better surrounding talent, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, the tight ends. I think Elijah Moore, you look at his hands, you look at his route running, his speed, his quickness, the versatility, and, he offers you between slot, outside, jet sweep, screen game. I think he's just really tough to defend, and he's still only 22 years old. He's a young player that's going to play the season that he, still at an early age. And I think this is, really the first year you were saying you were expecting to break out, and I do as well.
Yeah, well said. And the thing about Elijah Moore is he's not just this good human and this great guy. He's also a fierce competitor. And that's what you like about his character, right? He is off the field perfect. Good family guy, just always says the right thing. But he's also extremely confident, and a competition that he brings to this team is next to none. And what he said about this wide receiver core, I'm sure will get a lot of people really excited. So essentially, he was like, I feel like, first of all, we're all different, but I feel like there's no way a team should be able to guard 3 of us, plus all the other guys that's coming along too. I feel like we got a good group,
Adding Garrett Wilson to the guys you already had, is it going to make it hard on defenses not knowing who to double?
Yeah, of course, man. I feel like we all receiver ones, so like I said, man, having all 3 of us plus all 4 of us, whatever, whatever the lineup is going to be, the way we going, the way we flowing, I just feel like, it's going to be unstoppable.
Of course, he's mentioning Garrett Wilson. Then you have Corey Davis, you have C.J. Uzuma, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Rucker, Breece Hall, Michael Carter. I mean, the list goes on and on. Braxton Berrios, another one. He says it just opens everything up. That's how we expect to be on the games on Sundays. And when referencing his own style and what he's doing to get better, he said, I feel like I'm understanding what I'm doing better. Going into year 2, I just feel like it's going to be more smooth transition so far as my assignment. And this wide receiver core, young, they're agile, they're versatile. I mean, looking at Elijah Moore's snaps last year, he spent 28% of his snaps in the slot and 70.8% out wide. So looking at him and Garrett Wilson right now, I think that's probably what'll happen with Garrett Wilson as well. Like he'll see 28 to 30% slots. They'll kind of just interchangeable. You know, sometimes they'll play the Z, they'll put him in the Z, put him in the slot, they'll put him out wide. They can really get creative with these playmakers. They're so dynamic in the open field. It's more about just getting them into open space, right? You look at like the Chiefs, or you look at the Bills. You look at like, even Green Bay, guys with a couple of like just amazing playmakers. What do they do best? They get the ball in their hands and let them work. Even guys like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill over in Miami now, you're going to see the Jets are going to have a tough time stopping those guys. But the reason is because you get them into space with a couple of yards and you let them do the work for you, right? That is what I think Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson are capable of doing. You don't need to put all the pressure on Zach Wilson's shoulders. These guys will do it for you. And I think Elijah Moore has it really down to a T in terms of just they're all different receivers too, right? Like Elijah Moore, a little bit smaller, agile, quick. Corey Davis, more of a possession body, can make those contested catches. Garrett Wilson, speedy, really quick, and stop on a dime. They're just all different in the way that they play. And it's really going to be fun to see how they extrapolate on those strengths, Ryan. So when you're looking at this trio of guys, I imagine you agree with Elijah Moore. What are you thinking about his quotes?
I agree with his quotes. I think you look at when Elijah himself, the end of last year, before, an injury unfortunately ended the last, couple games of his rookie season. I mean, he himself was really tough to stop. I mean, I think LaFleur had a good plan on just how to scheme up touches for him. Like you were saying, get Zach Wilson easy opportunities to just get his playmakers the ball in space. Elijah Moore has that strength with the ball in his hands, that overall play strength. He's tough. He can stiff arm guys, can break tackles. And I think you said it with just the multiplicity at which these guys offer in terms of pre-snap. Moore is really the one I trust most as the X beating press coverage. I just think technically, his hand, his footwork, his releases. I think in terms of slot, Z alignments off the line of scrimmage, I think there could be a balance between Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, and at times getting more in the slot just for easier opportunities. But in terms of like strictly who I trust most at the X, I would go with Elijah just in terms of beating press coverage. And whether it's down the field with this 4.3 speed, going over the middle, you said it, this guy's fearless. He's competitive. His hands are just as reliable as it gets. He catches everything. You look back to his highlights from last year and around the line of scrimmage, whether it's the short area quickness on routes, whether it's the screen game, whether it's jet sweeps, end arounds, there's really nothing he can't do. I think he plays bigger than his size, like I was alluding to the play strength that he has. You look at some of his production in the red zone last year, scoring touchdowns. I think he finished with about 6 in roughly 10 or so games played. So I would expect, probably 8 to 10 or so this year, for a smaller guy at 5'10". And there's really nothing he can't do. I think he's competitive. Like you said, he works hard and, the character is obviously there. And I think more and more repetition with Zach is just going to go a long way for E in year 2.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, right? The repetition, the consistency, Zach Wilson getting better progressively, all of these things are going to aid in Elijah Moore being super successful. But, I'll even throw in this. The guy was dominant when Mike White was the quarterback. He doesn't even need a good quarterback to be a good player. You just get the ball in his hands, whether it's short, whether it's long, whatever it might be. He does all the work for you, and he is so good at maneuvering and finding ways to pick up extra yardage. He's very, like you said, he's a very smart football player, but also extremely competitive and just a good guy overall. So I really like these quotes from Elijah Moore. I think that he's got it down when he's talking about this unit as a whole. They are going to be dynamic. Hopefully they can stay healthy and Corey Davis can, make more of an impact this year in his second year under contract with the Jets. But overall, man, this is exciting stuff. This is a very young but very, very electrifying Jets offense with sky's the limit potential. They have the potential to be the best or the worst right now. So it's like that is kind of what the Jets are right now. It's a polarizing nature of play, but I think they have good coaches, they have good players, they have good leaders. And now it's just about putting it all together on the football field, making sure they're ready. And you have a great coordinator, Mike LaFleur. He's not going to let you guys fail. So I think it's going to be a really successful season, at least just taking steps in the right direction for the future. But I'd love to hear your quotes and comments below in the YouTube section. And I'm always happy to converse and hear your opinions on this Jets team, the wide receiver core, everything to do with it. It's super exciting and fun. I know we're kind of dying for some football right now. I know I sure as hell am. I can't wait until training camp starts. There's so much to happen. I know the awesome docuseries for the Jets just dropped, and I took a couple minutes of time to look at it, and it looks awesome. I was watching Jeff Ulbrich break down Sauce Gardner's film, and it was sick. So we'll definitely discuss some of those things and some of the clips from those videos in the coming days here. But as always, make sure to drop a like and a subscription below on the YouTube channel, my friends. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Jets episode.